Hi everyone, Gloria here from Women in Pool, and of course,
JoAnn Mason Parker. Hi, everybody.
all right, and Kelly Fisher will be joining us shortly. Um, JoAnn and I were going to chat a little bit about the Women in Pool tournament before we get into the meat and potatoes when Kelly gets in. Um, uh, about the billiards industry and is it booming, and if it's not, why it's not, and why we're constantly compared to golf. But we're going to start off with the fact that September 10th and 11th, over at Yale Billiards, we're going to be holding one of the biggest events. I've told it's the biggest event here on the East Coast for women, with a $2,000 added
An
event.
incredible thing, by the way, what you're putting together.
Thank you very much, JoAnn.
Really
Appreciate it.
is. I want everybody to know how much hard work this lady is putting into this.
Thank you.
It's
Um,
for
yeah, no, I do. I appreciate it. So we're doing that. Hey, there's Kelly. Hi, Kelly. How are you?
Hi, I'm fine. How are you?
Kelly,
Good,
you look
good.
great.
What's that?
I said, you look great.
Oh, thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know how. I only arrived. I'm so tired. I feel a bit spaced out. I only arrived last night. About 1:30 a.m.
Wow.
I did, yeah, after 24 hours travel. So it was
Yeah,
woke up this morning
we,
feeling a bit tired.
yeah, I would think so. We were saying how your travel schedule is incredible. Like you're
No,
everywhere.
yeah, not here. We were just saying like behind the scenes. I was like, she's just a beast. I don't know how she does it.
Yeah,
Well, it's been, yeah, I mean, I can, as I'm getting older, I can feel it, put it that way, more.
yeah, it's not easy.
No, I remember Alison saying to me that, oh, you wait while you're, in your 40s, then you'll feel it worse. And I'm like, oh, don't be silly, don't be silly. But oh, yeah, I do. I know exactly what she means.
Yeah, because the time change, right? The jet lag.
The jet lag, I was saying to Brittany, I just feel really spaced out, just like I'm not kind of here,
Sure.
if you know what I mean. Yeah.
No, I
Yeah.
do get it. I was just in Ireland.
It's
I
me
was
every
away from
day.
Ireland for a short trip for
Yeah. So you
family
can feel
vacation.
it. Yeah.
Time change is tough.
It is. And then by the time I get home, I just get into the swing of things and then I'm going again. And, it kind of goes like that, really.
Uh-huh.
The Canada one, I think it was only 2 days or 3 days before I was leaving that I felt normal because I'd come from Germany to there.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, wow, yeah. So anyway,
And then you
hopefully
were
we
in
can,
Spain too.
yeah, then I went to Spain for a little vacation. That was nice. There was no jet lag there. It was only an hour difference. So it was perfect.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was nice. And most players were probably preparing on the table, and I was sunbathing, relaxing a little bit just to try and balance it out. You have to balance it out, I feel. So,
Yeah, definitely.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what that's about. I gotta try that sometime, Kelly. Can you send me a meme? I must have missed that one.
I'll send you a link.
Yeah, I did. Send me a link on how to balance life.
Yeah.
Um, we were just talking about the tournament, and I'm gonna be on the Shark Stream tonight, which is where the tournament's running out of, the Women in Pool tournament.
Mhm.
We're pretty much full on gold sponsors right now.
That's great.
Um, well, yeah, we have a a down payment. Basically, they give us, a little of this, that way they could back out, but we get to keep funds. But it seems like we're pretty full on that. So I've been working really hard on that. We have 34 who have signed up, and then I made an event which there's another 45 interested and another 15 going. So I'm hoping that it is a full 64 player field, because the $2,000 is guaranteed. um, and from what I understand, this is the biggest um, added event for women ever from in the New England area up.
Oh,
So
excellent. That's
yeah,
great. Well,
so
great.
I'm happy. I'm happy about it. I don't know if you guys see this.
There you go. In the zone. Excellent.
Yeah, yeah.
That's cool.
So yep, I ended up getting this from In the Zone. I also have a polo inside from Jamal, and I'm working with him on a couple of things. And I just wanted to go over a couple things about the tournament before we actually get into the real meat and potatoes of things. So 64 player max, 650 and under Fargo. We did a modified WPA because there are people who are, handicaps of like probably APA 4 and whatnot. Next time we do this, next time we go about it, it's just going to be full blown out rule. Whoever, doesn't want to sign up, we won't sign up, but we're going to do another one. It's going to be a surprise for the ladies. I want to say that. And there's going to be a discount for women in pool shirts should they want to purchase them. And I'm going to be talking later about that, as well as an amended refund policy. So also want to say that JoAnn's going to be there doing a clinic. She's going to be working that through with Bobby Hilton. Wanted to put that out there.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep, and those details will be coming later once everything is completely ironed out, so we don't give you any erroneous information. Okay, so we've talked about jet lag, we've talked about in the zone. Thank you again to Jamal. Looking forward to working with him on actually bigger things. I'm hoping that
he's a great guy. I mean, it's really easy to work with. And he supports many players. He supports many players, and one of my top sponsors, as you know. But he actually supports many players, and is very happy to get involved if and when he can. So he's very supportive of our industry, I feel.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's just say that I have. I'm going to be working. He's going to have a nice little surprise because I'm going to be doing something that he's not expecting. Just because he's willing to help out the tour for sponsorship.
Cool.
And I'm appreciative of that.
That's
so
great.
He's a great person. All right, so there's so many debates, right? There's so many things, there's so many controversial issues that come up here between men and women in pool and unification or segregation. And with that being said, is always a male pool player versus a female pool player, and Kelly's like, well, why do we even have to talk about, who's better? And so we all have some different, I don't want to say vantage points, but perspectives and opinions on things. And that's what's great about the show, is we can all
get to
speak our opinion
and discuss. And I think when we do that, it's a collaborative effort. And you bring dialogue to different topics. And by doing that, you never know, you shake the energy up in the universe for things to change and grow and improve.
Absolutely.
That's what I want. And I mean, this is something that we've never had. We've never had just a full station where we have a voice. And I want to call him a friend. He's an acquaintance of mine, wrote, why do women have to have all of this? Why do women have to, I should probably read it, it's paraphrasing, but why are women getting so much more attention now and getting this much more than men on my Women in Pool posts? And I was like, and I just wrote, how so? And one of the women came and chimed in and said, a lot. That's all I'll say. If anybody wants to go there and read it, you can, because I don't want to. But she made some really good, valid points. And I think that for the longest time, it was just completely male. And now we're just starting to really get the blending of everything, thanks to, all these huge tournaments that are going on. So we're always hearing, how come billiards doesn't get the same money that golf does? And that's always been something that's just spinning around in my head. So thoughts, opinions, perspectives on why is billiards not getting what other people are getting? Why are we not recognized as the sport, etc., etc.? Just put it out there, whoever wants to go. I'm here to listen and learn.
Kelly, you want to go first, or would you like me to go first?
You carry on, darling. You carry on.
Carry on, darling.
Well, I have the first thing that comes to mind is when you think about golf, and I've been lucky and fortunate enough to go to a bunch of pro events and watch the greatest in the world play golf in person. And what we see at golf tournaments and we see on TV with golf tournaments is that there are 18 holes. It's spread over a huge amount of space. Outdoors, it's beautiful. They set up tents at different holes. Sponsors have such great opportunities for advertising in those venues, which offers them a lot back because of the space that's involved in order to play that sport. There's a lot of sponsorship opportunities that arise because of that. So I've been in Florida, I've been down to Doral where Tiger plays, Phil plays, all the best in the world play, and spent the day in a beautiful in a tented area, watching that hole on the 15th hole, watching everybody come up and play. So, but you have that in many places there. So you can have, and then there are the people that just follow and watch, and the amount of money and the amount of people that they can put in on a golf course is enormous. It's enormous what they can do. So for me, logistically, it's just such a big difference, you know? And what we're seeing now with Matchroom, they're trying to do more of not just one table, but different tables and set up where they can have many more people to be able to watch these matches intensely.
Mhm.
And I think from there, we might see something grow and change on a certain level. Thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I totally do agree. I think that, you know, the opportunity, like you say, for sponsors to, and, you know, many companies want to get involved in sport, but there has to be a return for their money. There has to be. Otherwise, you know, why would anybody do it? And I do believe, like you say, with golf, over the years, it's many years ago, it worked its way up very quickly, or should I say, it worked its way up very highly compared to pool. And at this level it's at now, that's allowed them to open the doors for multiple opportunity for not just the sponsors, but for the players lucratively. And, you know, more money you've got, more you can do. It's one of them chicken or the egg. I mean, it's like in pool, you know, we have so many ideas how we could see it, an event being played. I mean, if we had the following like golf, potentially we could do in my mind, you know, like you were talking about the hole, you were sat in a tent waiting for them players to finish that hole. We could have it where we have one table only and players, you know, you've got so many players that day. So if you like, it's like you're sat in the arena watching one hole, if you like, you're watching one table with multiple matches. But unfortunately, we're not at that point yet to where the promoters even have got enough sponsorship to allow that to happen. So one of our arenas has to be filled with tables and we have to have one TV table, you know, so many of the spectators are missing some fantastic matches that they don't, you know, that they're not even,
oh, sorry, go ahead, Kelly.
that they're not even aware of, that they can stream, but it's not the same when you want to be sat there, you know. So it's one of them, it's chicken or the egg, I feel, and I feel that we are growing and we're going in the right direction. And, you know, we might not be around, ladies, but in 50 years time, I mean, we will be, but you know what I mean? We won't be sat here talking. In 50 years time, it might be totally different and we might be under that kind of, hopefully, we're at that point where we have got it somewhat like that. But I'll let you go, Gloria, because I do have one other thing just to.
Oh no, I was no, please continue, Kelly, please.
It was just about why we're not there yet, why we are.
That was what I was gonna. Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
You know, the main question is why aren't we there? Really, we know what we could do if we're at that point where golf is. Where you know, there's so many ideas that we could make pool even bigger and better. But I think there's a couple of reasons. I do feel that the stereotype of a pool player, or you know, is in a pool hall. Years ago, when we watched The Hustler and the movies where people are smoking, drinking, gambling, fighting, things like that. Unfortunately, them movies, however great it was to see pool in a big movie, it didn't do us any favors in some respect. Right. And I do feel I'm not blaming the movies, because unfortunately already for the movies to talk about it like that meant that it was like that, you know, but it's not like that anymore. And people don't realize that the general public who are not interested in pool or don't follow pool think of it somewhat like that still. Yet, if you look at our players now, especially the younger ones, they're extremely athletic, extremely fit, healthy, and treating it like, well, like it should be being an athlete.
Giving it the respect it deserves.
Correct. To have the, you know, to have the sustainability really, and you need the energy, and you know, there's multiple matches, we've got long schedules, long travel. In order to do that, you've got to be somewhat fit and healthy, and these young ones especially are really treating it with that respect, and the true athletes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know what I also think, Gloria, Kelly, is that golf, for probably still to this day, is a very expensive game to play.
Mm-hmm.
And so the people in general that are involved in that sport have more means.
Mm-hmm.
And so through the years, that has always been like that. And therefore, the people that have been involved with that on the amateur level, just on the enjoyment end of things, which ended up turning it to be able to be what it is today, whoever got involved and made that happen, it happened because these other people wanted to see it happen, and they were the people with the money to make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
We don't exactly have that in pool 100%, although we do have a lot of very, very wealthy people that love this sport, that play it, that have gorgeous tables in their homes and enjoy it. I mean, I know for myself, I give lessons to a bunch of very wealthy people, especially in Florida, who love the game, but there's not enough of it. There's not enough of them, you know, no big country clubs, you know, like you have these golf clubs that it costs thousands and thousands of dollars to be a member.
That's right.
Before one greens fee.
That's right. I mean, a little funny story. I'd started playing snooker, so I must have been about 12 when I started. I was 12. Let's say it was a couple of years in. I was like 13 or 14 years old, and actually, my coach Lionel, who, as you all know, is still my coach at 30 years later, bless him. He was a very good golfer. He was like a scratch player, I believe, or a 2 handicap. And to me, I don't know much about golf. I know the technical side of golf more than I know really about the game. It's not something that I've followed so much. But I was about 14 years old, and he said to me, "Kelly, do you want to go to the driving range?" I said, "Yeah, sure. Why not? Something different." Off we went, and apparently I hit the ball really good. Now again, I was just whacking it. I had no idea what I was doing. I was just following him and trying to show me how to do it, and I picked it up quite quickly. And he suggested to me then, he said, "You know, I think you should join the golf. I think we should get your lessons in golf as well as snooker." And I said, "Okay." I quite enjoyed it. I said, "Okay, all right." Well, then I found out the fees and how much it would cost to be a member. And back then I had no money. My parents, you know, we just didn't have a way to pay for that, along with my snooker as well. And he begged me to play golf. He really did. And he said, "I think you've got the eye to ball coordination, and I think you really make it, you're good at this," and And I never did it. And obviously I don't regret anything, because I've been very fortunate in pool and billiards. So I can't say I regret anything, but I wished I'd have had a proper go to see where that could have possibly took me. But you know, you never know.
Never too late. It's never too late. You just have to give up a trip to Spain and take
Gloria,
a couple lessons.
It's too late. Believe me, it's too late. I don't think I could, I don't think I could pick it up as quickly as I could when I was young.
It's funny because Kelly was talking about, you know, like the movies, and not that that's an absolute reason, you know, we're not going to blame movies.
We can, because for the movies to put that on, to use billiards in that way meant that it was like that in some way.
Right,
it's
but
not now.
What happened after The Color of Money? There was a huge boom in pool.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
Right.
that's right. Oh, it did us favors in many ways. It
Right.
did,
Yeah.
but it just
Yeah,
made
it's
it
like
stereotype a little. Yeah.
Yeah,
because you got to look back and go, golf didn't die because of like uh Happy Gilmore. So
right,
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly. Yeah,
that was
yeah,
a
yeah.
good movie, by the way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. No, you're
Uh,
right.
but I do see, like I said, I like to always look at the different perspectives and see the sides. Now, I'm not very familiar with golf to be. I'm just a very upfront person. Um, how does one? Kelly might know the answer to this question. JoAnn, you might. How does one go to become a pro golfer? So what does anybody know what you actually have to do to get in there? Okay.
I, I do a little bit. There's a couple of ways that it's gone after. Uh, let's just, it's very common where young person will start playing because family is involved in the game. And so parents see child has good ability and kid wants to do it, they get them lessons. Very often what will happen in those circumstances, if young person has, and I only know this because of my son was actually a scratch golfer through high school. Played number one on his team straight through school. My husband coached them. But that aside, then from there, through that period of time, they go on and they play for college. And you play through college, both men and women, girls and boys do that. And then from there, they graduate to the tour. That's the typical pattern of how it goes.
See, we don't have that in the UK. We don't have that, going through college and stuff like that. So I'm assuming we must have a slightly different way. I do know that a lot of
You
my
need
friends,
to,
yeah, yeah.
Right.
A friend of mine, a good friend of mine, her son is in Charlotte at the moment, North Carolina, but he went
Yeah.
to Texas and
uh-huh.
he went through a scholarship.
Or-
So they come to America to do that, yeah.
Uh-huh, right. But I mean, you don't have to do it that way. It doesn't have to go like that either. And very often what will happen if young person has a lot of talent in this sport, which is what happened to my son, a coach will take you under his wing for nothing. And that's what happened. And then he never had to pay for anything.
That's like my coach, Paul Lionel. It's true.
Yeah, right. Because then, maybe he's teaching somebody else who is paying and you're the one who demonstrates.
Yeah.
And can pay him back in other kinds of ways, which is what my son did. So my son would be there practicing and hitting balls, and the coach would maybe be giving an actual paid lesson, and he would say, William, come over here, show so-and-so what I'm talking about and demonstrate this.
Does your son still play?
It's so funny, we were in Ireland, we were there on a golfing vacation, and he did play a little bit, but no, he stopped playing golf, and he actually lives in Berlin, Germany now, and he owns an English used bookshop with his husband,
Wow.
who's actually from England.
Really? Excellent.
Yeah,
Excellent.
his husband actually graduated with Prince William.
Oh, wow. Wow. What story? Okay.
He's only 27, his husband just turned 40.
Excellent.
But he went to Oxford and he's a really bright guy, and my son's also a really bright kid and young man, and so they're like two intellectuals. The husband is a linguist, he speaks about 7 languages.
Oh, wow. Excellent. Right.
Relation business and tutors in language and all this sort of stuff. So that, yeah, but he misses the golf. He loved the golf.
I bet. Never mind, Gloria, about pool or golf. We're going to talk about.
No, I'm trying to figure out, like, the whole thing here is they have the tour. So you get on the tour and there you are. And when you're on the tour, the best of the best wins, and that's basically all that there is. And it's kind of a little off subject, but I'm starting to think that although like there are leagues and things of this nature, there's really only 2 categories. There's really only amateur and pro. But then we have like these in-betweens all the time, and there's, well, we belong here, and then there's the handicap things, and I feel like it's not cut and dry. Like the pool industry, for me personally, I feel as though it's not cut and dry enough. I feel as though there's just too many in-betweens, and there's too many ways of when you hit a golf ball, you see where it lands. There's not like, okay, I'm gonna just get my handicap pulled down by doing A, B, C, and D. And well, you're a Fargo rate this, but you're an APA this, but in VNA you're this. Like I feel as though we're just way too scattered,
Right.
like the rule sets
Not
that we talked about.
right. That
So
I agree with you.
so when it comes to golf, you earn your way there, you're there, you pay whatever it is.
But you see, the thing is really we have that also. So without any disrespect here, your VNEA, your APA, your leagues, they're
Mhm.
amateur leagues. That's 100% there. That's amateur leagues,
Right.
100%. So there's no question to that. There's no gray area there. Whatever your APA level is, whatever your VNEA level is, that's amateur level. So that's separate. And then you've got, for example, the matchroom rankings, you've got the WPA rankings. They're basically them two collaborating together gives you the professional tour. If you're ranked in the top 40 of the matchroom, then you're classed as professional, if you like. But the WPBA had it perfect years ago. Now, you'll know that they had it absolutely perfect years ago, and they're going to get it back to that, I believe, firmly believe that. I remember in 2004, me and Val flew over to America. There was no chance of getting a wild card because I was a world champion at snooker. There was nothing. I had to go like Alison. Sorry, just let me rephrase that. I had to go like Karen Core and go and qualify. When Alison come over,
Doing that, by the way.
I'm sorry?
I remember Karen doing that.
Yeah. So when Alison come over, there wasn't the qualifying, as far as I know. I don't think they had the regional tours.
When
So
Alice,
Alison came.
sure they did.
Did they?
Yes.
Oh, because
Yes.
I thought she played directly on the tour.
No,
Anyway,
maybe she got a dispensation or something. I don't know.
I don't know. But I know when Karen come over, I had to do exactly the same. So I'll explain about my own year of qualifying, shall we say. But it was very cut and dry. It was very, very just like I would imagine the LPGA, for example, and how I think it should be. Again, WPBA isn't WPA. So this is where the problems are, but the LPGA, I'm sure there's other tours too that they say the same thing about. So anyway, I come over, me and Val, we had to spend a year going all over America from east to west to north to south, traveling for each to try and qualify for each WPBA professional event. And only the winner of that regional tour event got a spot into that specific qualifier, whichever that regional tour was, the qualifier was for. So, for example, I remember traveling to Arizona to try and get a US Open spot. I traveled to Texas to try and get a San Diego Classic spot, etc., etc. And I spent a year doing that, and I got these spots. And even though I was doing okay doing well in the tournaments, the professional events, until I was ranked in the top 32, I was still classed as semi-pro. So very simple. So I carried on qualifying. And then if you got ranked number 1 on a regional tour, you got a tour card to allow you to enter. You weren't professional, you just got a tour card to allow you to enter the events for the whole events for the following year. So that's basically how and then I worked my way up the rankings. Val did the same thing. And when you got in the top 32, you were classed as a touring professional. Very simple. There were no Fargo, there were no nothing.
Right.
And that's what I was saying. And I accept that. And no disrespect back, Kelly, but from being a tour director for all the years and doing nothing but that, because there really, for us over here, there wasn't like a great amount of live streaming or anything, a lot of it was just concentrated just solely in-person tournaments. So now that we have, like, when you talk about like VNA and APA and these are just that, I can tell you from a tournament director's perspective, for doing it from 2007 when I met you for the very first time, my only my only time meeting anybody, by the way, was that guy, young Kim, when she came in and whipped me up. And thank you, Ava, for the whipping that you gave me as well. I still have welts. But over here, we'll submit to Fargo, right? So they'll play in a $20 tournament, and what they'll do is, okay, it's getting submitted to Fargo. Lost $100. Then there's a $2,000 added event. The Fargo rate's low enough because it's a cutoff of this, and then they go in there. I also know of a person, which I will not mention the name of, who traveled all the way to Texas to play because he could not be verified. He was playing with a bunch of other people. Somebody found him in the Calcutta. He was going for $40 in the Calcutta, and he is a 740 Fargo. So how do you not recognize that? 740, was it 740? This person?
So yeah.
Right? Yeah. Okay.
Like the
So
whole Fargo business, who are you playing? Some of this Fargo stuff, I gotta tell you,
but this is
who
the
you
whole
playing
thing. I think that this
What
is
is
this
that?
is this is what I think is
Right?
part of
What do
what's
you-
bringing down.
this is another conversation, I think.
I think
Yeah,
so.
well, I'm just saying. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I'm just saying that this kind of stuff I don't see happening in
Golf.
golf.
We don't know though, Gloria.
I don't but
Well,
I
there's
don't see it and I don't
something-
hear about it.
Well, I'll tell you something. There's something in golf called sandbagging.
The same in APA, they call it that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, but that's
Call it
golf
in
term.
school. Yeah.
Right.
And it started there, and where people would, so they could keep their handicaps
I was
really.
just going to say, they must do a lot of it in golf because your handicap is everything.
Exactly.
So that must happen in golf more than it happens in pool. I
I'm
mean, yeah.
I'm not trying
because-
to bring down the sport by any means. I'm just saying
No.
that
No, we're
I
not.
did
We're
not
just
know this.
saying
I
it
did not know.
it
Like I said, I
happens
don't really
everywhere,
know
yeah.
golf. I can putt. That's it.
But it must happen in golf even more because that the handicap is the whole thing.
Because there's a lot of very, very good amateur events. And
You want to stay amateur, not professional, right?
yes, exactly.
I'm sure it happens, Gloria, more than we know. It's just that we're not in the game to know.
I'm not.
And-
Yeah.
And that's up to the person, really. I mean, I do think, how to say it. I only look at it, not selfishly, I only look at it from my perspective. And I wouldn't choose to play a sport. I would choose to play a sport either for fun, or I would choose to play it to reach goals and targets and be the best I can be. So for me, I'm cut and dry like that. If I play it for fun, then I don't even think about tournaments, handicaps, things like that, no matter what sport it was. And if I'm playing it and giving it 100%, then I only want to be the best I can be. So there's no way I'd want to undercut myself by sandbagging and doing anything like that. So I'm quite black and white. But I do understand these players that are in the middle.
Excuse me
that
for
wanna-
1 second, Kelly. I want to apologize. I just want to say, please be respectful in the comments. Thank you.
Yeah, so I think that, there's a lot of players, quite a lot of players that really enjoy it. They are on the, like what we're just talking about there, they're on the cusp of potentially being good enough for professional, but a very great amateur player. And, they want to stay amateur, not same in golf, I'm assuming, but it's everybody's choice at the end of the day. And it's very difficult for promoters to deal with that. But I don't think there's very much you can do.
No, these things are very difficult to regulate.
Yeah.
I mean, but just to go back to the money aspect of and the promotion of our sport, and to like to see it move forward and go forward, I think a big part of it is going to have to be the improvement of how it is viewed and how many people can watch it and will watch it, and the level of enlightenment and education to the public to understand what they're really looking at and what they're watching, to truly understand how difficult it is.
Excuse me
And
for one moment. I apologize again. I apologize. I just want to say that if there's one more nasty comment in this, I'm going to be blocking people. Thank you.
I'm not seeing what's happening.
No,
Please
me.
continue, JoAnn.
Okay. No, so I'm just saying that it has to, and I personally think what Matchroom is doing really seems to be moving in a good direction as far as more regulation, as far as size of pockets, how the game is getting viewed, more regulation in terms of just all of it getting regulated. But I think that all the bodies like the WPA and Matchroom, they all should, the WPBA, they all need to work in conjunction with each other.
Yep.
To make it the same across the board, whatever that might be. I don't agree with everything that's been done so far, but long as there's consistency, that's a great start.
Yeah, I agree. I think that, you know, if they can work together with a small industry that is trying to grow, and, you know, if everybody can work together to make that happen and not try to step on each other's toes in any way,
Yes.
I think that's the only way that we can see it growing to its full potential, sorry,
Sure.
and quicker. It's going to grow quicker that way. But if there's tournaments being scheduled on top of each other, or different, you know, promoters wanting more control, if you like, I don't know. I really don't know what it is, but I just think if they can all work together, then we'll definitely see the game flourish, and you know, it will open the doors to so much more and make our sport grow, which is all what really that's the only thing we all want, right?
Sure, absolutely. I
wanting.
think, you know, also I think that for the longest time, they've wanted to get pool in the Olympics.
Yes.
You know, I have to tell you, the Olympics, you think about
Wait
this
one
and,
moment. I'm going to show you something.
okay,
Carry on.
okay, so I diverge just for a moment to speak about that because I think there's value to add it to this conversation. The Olympic committees, and when you think about how precise so many sports are that are in the Olympics, and by like a tenth of a second can determine a win of a race, you know, that someone is running a race, and it could be so precise. You can't go to an Olympic committee that's going to determine whether pocket billiards would be in the Olympics or not. And you're going to bring them a game like 9-ball, where you're allowed to luck a ball in. You can't, I mean, they'll look at you like they have to look at you like you're crazy. You mean the greatest players in the world are not telling you exactly what it is that they're doing? You know, this doesn't make any sense.
Well,
So
I think like 10-ball, the game of 10-ball, that's a good one to use, where we have to call shot. But I suppose, JoAnn, in many different sports, there's some luck involved. I mean, I'm just trying to think. When I say, I'm not
absolutely,
saying luck involved as far as the athlete's ability. I'm not meaning that. I'm meaning there's some luck involved in the match, you know, in the match.
Right.
But even in snooker and different sports, I mean, there's definitely some luck involved. But
right.
I think one of our problems I didn't hear all what you said because I didn't have this and I went to grab something. But I think that one problem we've got is, for example, 9-ball isn't very popular in some countries. Like even in the UK, it's growing for sure. But we've got English pool and snooker.
Yes.
Taiwan, they don't have snooker. You can't find a snooker table in Taiwan. You know, and 9-ball, again, in some countries, same thing. And then in other countries, you can't find snooker. And then carom, we don't have carom tables in the UK. We don't play three cushion. So the problem is how can you have a team from each country representing? That's one of the problems, where if we've got, you know, for example, javelin, you know, in every country in the world, there'll be javelin representation.
Yeah,
So well, speaking of which, I am here right now at the World Games.
That's
So
right.
I am. So here's my accreditation. I got it like last night, and
Nice.
we've got the World Games. That is, if you like, for sports that are trying to get into the Olympics, or sports that are not quite in the Olympics yet. That's the best way to describe it. And you know, I really hope one day we are in the Olympics. But this is our next best thing. It's every 4 years. We've got nine ball, carom, and snooker represented here. That's
Okay, I
a
didn't realize that all of that was represented. You know, I just practiced with Rubelin while she was
Yeah, I
here.
saw that. I saw that. Yeah.
Very
Yeah, I
sweet.
saw that.
Met her before.
Lovely person.
think-
Yeah, she is.
Nice.
JoAnn was talking about bringing her on, here, women in pool, and being, I say panelists, but we're all just one complete family here. So whoever can jump in can jump in. That's the whole idea of having more than, 5 women, because women are not just busy with children. We're busy with billiards, right?
That's for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
We have billiards life.
Yeah.
So um so
So can I
anyway.
ask quickly, can I ask Kelly quickly? So tell us a little bit, Kelly, about what's going on over there. What is the format for you?
Well, I only arrived last night, so I've not had a chance. All I've done is wake up this morning and go for food, and it's so nice, honestly. I've been to the World Games twice previously, once in Colombia 9 years ago, and then in Poland, yes, Poland 5 years ago. And this World Games should have been last year, of course, but due to the pandemic,
Right.
it's been delayed.
Right.
And, the feeling here, you see all the athletes from all the different countries playing all the different sports. And we're in the good thing about here is we're in the Olympic Village. Now,
Ah,
yeah, we're staying in the Olympic Village. Some players maybe could have, how to say it, may have had a better idea than me and Brittany and a few of the others, because we're actually staying in the dorms. And if I showed you around it, it's quite funny, really. It's like I'm at uni. So it's really strange. I've never been to uni, but I said to Brittany, I wish I'd have gone to uni now, but it's quite cool, but it's different.
Nice.
With no hairdryer. So we went out today to buy a hairdryer to find out that in one of the other rooms here in our communal area, which is, I've never had that before, we've got Japanese player Yuki, the lady player from Japan. So she's in there, she's got a hairdryer, so we're okay. We didn't have to buy a hairdryer. But yeah, there's no iron, there's no, we're used to hotels, right? So it's quite funny, really. But I love it. I love different experiences like that. It doesn't bother me at all. And we just went down for the lunch in the cafeteria, and it's, God, that's where you see all the different players. And it was not chaos. It was very well run, but it was full of so many athletes. And what a buzz feeling that is. It really is. So our tournament begins tomorrow. We've got the opening ceremony for the billiards at 10:45, I believe. And I'm first match on at 11:30. So it's 16 players, single elimination format, 9 ball, races to 9, I believe.
Okay.
Forgive me, I'll know more tonight.
I think that Rubelin, I think she did tell me it was races tonight,
Yeah.
but I didn't really know players and if it was single elimination or
Single
not.
elimination, yeah. I've got a lady from India. I remember years and years ago, we played snooker together.
Oh, wow.
And who's this?
Chitra from India.
Cool.
I went to India a few times playing snooker, and she was one of the players. Yeah, so I know her. She plays pool also. So I'm playing her tomorrow, first match. Brittany is second match. She's not been too well, but she's playing tomorrow, second match against Jennifer Beretta. And if you look online, you'll find the full schedule. There's 16 players. Same in the men's 9 ball, and in snooker we've only got men. There's 16 players representing, and in carom we've only got men. In 9 ball we've got representation of both men and women, which is great for 9
That
ball.
is great.
Yeah.
Well,
I
good
have to
luck.
say, this past, if I could go back to when pool first started opening again, I did not expect it to just boom. That's exactly what it did. It went from 0 to a 9.5. It was like an earthquake, like on the Richter scale. It was amazing. And then all of a sudden there were these different formats and the I can't think of what it was called in 10 ball. Kelly, help me out here. The shootout. They were changing things up, and then the WPBA was getting more money, like out of nowhere. It's like the WPBA was back. It's like losing pool for that short period of time had us realize like how much we really loved pool. And then there were just so many changes to pool, because pool, if from what I can recall, but of course I'm not a player, it was okay, so it's 9 ball races to 9, 7, or that, and it was the same. Now we're really out of the box here, and we're doing like so many new and exciting things, and this, like we were talking about, there's just so much travel, and it puts a whole new perspective here for the players and for us to watch. I don't remember the industry being like this 5 years ago.
No, I mean, it's certainly going to America when in 2004 it was like that. We had 10 events a year plus all. You could play an event every week if you like. And then it all of a sudden that went downhill. And
Yeah.
2007 when we had the economy collapse, if you like, that really had a big effect on us, and a bit unfortunate, it was really at its peak. And then 2007 it started diminishing due to the just the economic situation of the country, really. So then it went to China, and in China there was a lot of travel there, but they held some fantastic huge events. And now the pandemic, I thought, well, it can only go one or two ways. I didn't think we'd recover, to be honest, because it was on a downward prior to the pandemic. So I kind of thought, I'm trying to think what else can I do? But no, I'm so pleased that it turned completely around.
Yeah.
And that time of lockdown, let's say, allowed promoters, sponsors to think outside the box, and I think that's what they've done.
Yeah, it's kind of like they did a reset, huh?
Yeah, it was, and I think
It really was.
It's been the best thing that could have happened for billiards. And the main thing is keeping that momentum going forward now, and that's all we can hope and pray for, really. And I can't see it, I can't see any reason why our sport can't keep growing to a point where
you see so many young players now, like these young children.
Yeah. And I mean,
children.
Exactly. And I mean,
fantastic.
When China comes back as well, let's add that to the calendar. Why not? They did nothing wrong. They did everything to support pool. Yet it was a long travel for the Western world, and it's definitely a culture thing. But they come over here and we go over there, and why not add that to the calendar? Then I mean, we really will be full to the max. Then I mean, it'd be great. So can you imagine what we've got the schedule right now plus China? That's yet to come.
I know.
So it's great. It's all good. It's all good. And the main thing is that the players have to remember that, as well as the promoters and the tours and things like that. The players have to remember that, and they have to do their part too. And that is
absolutely.
That's one thing that a lot of players forget. They just take the tournaments like we all can for granted until it's not there. And then it's like, what am I going to do now? And I think
COVID was a big wake-up call.
Yeah,
COVID was a really big wake-up call, because a lot of it was what do I do? What do I do? And that's when virtual competitions really came into
that really
play.
helped, for sure. That really helped keep us alive. And a lot of players got involved with that, and I think that was brilliant. And there were so many more players that should have maybe, but I think that a lot of people couldn't due to they didn't have the facility.
Right.
So we had to remember that too.
I'm going to tell you something. When I started playing again now, which is, it was still COVID. My clubhouse in my community where I have a pool table was closed.
Yeah.
So that was not available to me to start to practice on a serious level. And then I had friends that had tables. I had 2 different people, and I had my friends help me and say, no, come by me. And that was the only way. There were no pool rooms were open, as you know. There were no billiards open. So it was very challenging. I'm sure a lot of people had this.
Of course. I mean, I know even just, I'm speaking of Brittany because we're sharing here, but even, for example, in Canada, there were nowhere for anybody to practice. The rooms were shut down. Jasmine Ocean, I remember even her own academy. It's her own place.
Right.
It was in a sports complex. It was completely shut down. So
Wow.
yeah, I mean, I was very fortunate that I've got one at my house, and that years ago I built an extension, if you like, or a big room out at the bottom of the garden, and it was good because I could just go in there. You could see me all day, you know. It was great.
No,
I
definitely.
think we've learned two big things from COVID about pool, that we can take going forward with us. One, if there's ever another plague, pandemic, whatever, make sure you have a pool table.
Yeah, yeah,
And
exactly.
make sure that you have some outlets, some virtual tournament to go to,
That's right.
because pool will always survive. We've survived so much over all these years. We've
Yeah,
survived, like Kelly was saying, back in 2007, we survived COVID, um, and we're just coming back stronger and stronger, and more countries and are being involved, and more out of the box thinking is coming here. I really think that when people talk about making pool great again, or that I think that we're probably, and this is just my personal opinion. I think that we're at the biggest point of growing, and
mhm.
really growing now, than I think we ever have been.
I
Agree or
agree
disagree?
because to be honest, before there was only one outlet where I felt pool were flourished, if you like, and that was America. Hence why Alison, Karen, myself, Val, Julie Kelly, I can go on and on, all moved to America. There was only one place. And now it's actually worldwide. I mean, the WPBA have got a waiting list for their events now, not just from Americans. I know the whole of Team Spain and Portugal and a lot of Europeans now, Bulgaria, they're wanting to come over, play WPBA events, play these Predator Pro Series events. They're also signing up the women for matchroom events, even playing against the men. So there's a lot more active players going, and really who are, going and traveling the world now and giving it.
Yeah.
And they're
Right.
young. They're in the 20s. They're young. So I think now we're at a really great spot. And I've said it 10 times and I'll say it again. I wish I could either, take 10 years off my age or just hit the pause button. That would be fine.
Man, enjoy every minute.
If you hit the pause button, that gives somebody else a chance to get first place. So no, you don't want to do that.
No, I mean, on the age. I mean, on my age only.
Oh, oh,
Hey,
on the
Only on
age
my age.
only. Yeah, I'll take it
Yeah,
on
just
I'll
my
take it on
age.
the fine lines and wrinkles. But sure,
Yeah.
yeah.
Just pause me at this age or take me back 10 years. That's okay too. Anything in between that will be fine. But
you're
yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
You're a baby
Yeah.
still.
Oh man, but no, it's a great future. So I think it should be. We should be talking in a year's time, Gloria, on here. Talking about the growth in the last year and where we're going forward next. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
this kind of definitely veered from the whole golf thing, but I mean that's what this is. You can talk about it, but then you veer off to something else. And if it's something great to talk about, or something that can show, the growth, or something positive, I'm all about it. So yeah. Um,
well,
so
I've got to do another interview now, so I do have to love you and leave you. I shouldn't schedule them back to back, should I? Because they always run over. I always have to love you and leave you, and I feel bad.
I just looked at the
Kelly,
time.
all right. So the next time Kelly has to
Mine's at
love me and
2 o'clock,
leave
but I'm
me,
always late. I'm
I'm
late.
going to send you multiple recordings, voice clips of me. You're gonna just keep deleting them all. It's with a British accent.
Oh dear. Bye, Gloria. No, I'm only joking. All right, that's cool. But nice chatting anyway, JoAnn, always, and Gloria. Thank you so much, and I will
Thank you so much,
see you
Kelly,
next
for being
time.
here. Yeah, and I'll be on, like I said, Shark Stream tonight, interviewing, talking about women in pool. JoAnn, thank you very much for the video. I truly, truly appreciate it.
Got it.
I'll be
Yeah.
putting on my Facebook about the World Games, so there'll be a link for the streaming, and I'll be doing that once I'm coming round now. I'm feeling more alive, so I'll be doing that this afternoon. Putting some links up for anybody who wants to watch the games, and I think you can watch any of the sports on that link. But tune in for the billiards, and hopefully, we can do well.
And
Cool.
Carly just chimed in, said, "Good luck with the gold medal, Kelly Fisher." Of course, we got
Fingers,
Carly's.
toes,
I love her.
cross everything. cross everything.
Yeah, I
It's
love
a dream of mine. It's something I've not accomplished yet in my career, and the dream, I really more than anything, it's a dream of mine just to achieve a gold medal in the World Games. But
it is truly difficult to love you so much, Kelly, but to look at the other women and, you know, not being, you know, in your, you know, in your in how can I say this?
go on, Gloria,
At a pro
spit it
level.
out.
No, I just want to say like at a pro level. I'm basically in toddler right now. So you know, it's so difficult when I'm here and I watch, you know, four of my favorite female players all there going, oh man, you know, and you know that you're always going to root for one over the other, and then, you know, then there's the dark horses that you didn't think were going to come in, and but Carly, she just says it, she'd say, Kelly, Kelly, Kelly. But I just want to say that I love you all, you know. I just want to make that abundantly clear. I do
Listen,
love you
I'm the
all.
only one here right now who's in the World Games. You have to focus your attention on me, Gloria, for
Wait,
for this.
but is wait, who else is there? Brittany's not
Oh,
there?
but Brittany, yeah, Brittany's
Okay,
here.
so
Sorry,
okay.
we'll give Brittany some love
And
too.
what about Rubelin?
Well, you've not chatted with Ruben like you have me, have you? I have to prioritize
Okay,
her.
but maybe I just happen to like her a lot as well.
Yeah.
I
Oh
mean,
well.
okay.
Well, we
Oh,
can wish the
well.
gold for
But
Kelly.
Bye.
Kelly's already loved me and
Gold.
left me a long time ago. So
Gold, so gold
Saying
for
goodbye
Kelly.
because I have to run. So I wish you good luck, and I will
Yes.
see you in a little over a week, Kelly. I'll see you in Michigan.
Excellent. We'll see you there. All right,
Okay.
we'll leave it on that note, Gloria. You send your love wherever you like. Just percentages. That's all.
I think
Bye.
I'm in trouble.
No,
All
I'm
right.
joking.
So
I'm
long. Okay.
So long.
So long,
Thanks,
everybody.
guys.
Thank
you.
you. Thank you.